What's up, guys, and welcome back to our channel. It's the month of June, so we're releasing a video every single day. In today's episode, where are they now? SC300 edition. So as you guys know, I basically dumped my RS project because I wanted something rear-wheel drive. I bought this, well, I bought another SC300, then I bought this one. I did the suspension, wheels, exhaust, and that's about it. And then I just beat the living crap out of this car. When I first got it, the car drove perfectly fine. Everything pretty much worked. AC worked, power steering worked. The interior was beat. I got the windows tinted. I just did I wouldn't even call them mods. I just put suspension and wheels and an exhaust on the car. So no real modifications to the car besides that. And then, it was a great summer. I was doing crazy donuts with the original wheels that came on this car. They were dry rotted. Actually, the original tires that came on these wheels, they were dry rotted and old, probably like 30 years. Nah, I wouldn't say 30, but maybe like 20 years old. And they were perfect for doing burnout. And I enjoyed every second of it. I then bought these Federal tires for my cousin, and that was the last time I was able to do a burnout. Now the car, I guess the weight ratio and then the traction is just way too high for me to be able to get this to spin. So unfortunately, burnouts came to an end. Then, through my ricerness, I kept driving the car in the gear. So I think it starts at D2, 3, and then 4. And basically I didn't have a stick shift car that was running at the time, so I wanted that same feeling, or I wanted at least the sound of it, because to me, it's embarrassing when a car sounds like that and then it's automatic. But then again, it doesn't really matter. But to me, it mattered. So, I was driving that, I was doing pulls and racing people, and I lost every single race. The only race that I guess kind of won, it wasn't even a race. Cousin Gary, as you guys saw in our last video, Gary was pulling up for a roll by, and I just floored it, and then I took off, and he was, I'm pretty sure he was flooring it, or at least I tell myself that to make myself feel better. So the SE hasn't won a single race. It's done at least, I think, maybe one burnout. No, it's done a couple burnouts, 2, 3 donuts, and that's it. Then through my ricerness of that summer, the more I shifted the gears like that, the less the car went into gear. So the 1 through 3 worked fine, and then drive, I guess drive is 4 and 5 or whatever it is. So when I put it in the drive gear to get to the highest gear, it just wouldn't go. So it would just be revving out the 4th gear. So it would go up to, I think it was 60, 70 miles an hour, and it still wouldn't shift into that last gear. So my RPMs were somewhere about 5,000 or 6,000, which isn't bad, because if you want to do pulls, that's perfect. It's being a gear under. But it was just consuming so much fuel. And this boat right here, this boat takes so much gas. We went on a cruise one day, and I put gas in this, and I was like, oh yeah, fill it up, no big deal. Bro, this thing took $60. I'm being used to, my truck takes same amount, maybe more, but being used to these cars, I'm talking about maybe $40 at most, $40, and it had gas in it already. So that was astonishing. After that, I never filled it up again. I was putting $20 a day, and $20 took me through a day. We were cruising maybe for an hour or two, and by the time we got home, gas light came on, another $20. And because I would just drive the car for cruises and then just park it up. So that's exactly what happened the last time I drove it, except that the car started smoking. I'll show you guys the video right here. The car just started smoking from the engine bay, and I didn't know what it was. Turns out that one of the heater core hoses burst, and it burst, and it was just pissing out coolant. So this is exactly what the car's been since that time. That was about a year ago. Honestly, between us, me to you, in a perfect world, I will keep this car. I have sourced a manual conversion, pretty affordable for the market, about $1,500, just how much as I paid for the car. But with that, it includes the pedals, the clutch master, the clutch, the transmission, the shifter, and the drive shaft. So literally it's just a, remove parts, add parts. You don't have to go buy new parts or none of that. It'll literally drop in, swap. But it's just, the lemon's just not worth the squeeze. As you guys will see later on, there's just gonna be so many other projects that are going on right now that for a car that it doesn't even run, this one, honestly, I can't even say this one has the longest to go, because as you guys see the next couple, the videos the next couple days, you guys will see where we at with everything. But it's just, I don't know. To me, I want to keep it. It has AC. It almost runs. It's a nice looking car, except for the other quarter panel is a bad one. But I was thinking I could either get that quarter panel fixed or even do an over fender. And as you guys can see, I'm conflicted. I would love to keep the car, and I want to keep the car. At the end of this month, we will go over everything, and then we could probably have more of an honest conversation about it all. But it's still early on. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I've been having troubles with the car because, like I said, once that cooling line burst, I was also having a crazy misfire, and the power steering pump went bad as well, so it would lock up when I was turning at like low speeds. So I basically had no power steering. So cousin Eric, the guy with the Supra, he gave me a pump, so that fixed that. I got new spark plugs, did the valve cover gaskets that were like excessively leaking oil. I'm currently in the process of deleting the EGR because this car should have been done maybe 7 months ago, but the EGR on these cars is a pain. I couldn't get it to fit into the intake manifold. Like it's like this metal pipe, and I was trying to turn it and I just couldn't get it. So I just kind of let the car sit for a while, and I just finally took that off maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I just got block off some vacuum ports, and it'll be good to go. Hopefully then the car starts and it comes back to a drivable state. But I don't know. Maybe if once I do that, the car drives again, maybe I'm more likely to keep it. But then again, it's also be an easier sell. My whole thing with selling the car's just not worth. The car will not bring in as much as I put into it. So, I paid, I think, $2,200 for the car, paid $1,000 in wheels, and then I didn't spend any more money. Well, I also did a big brake conversion from an LS400, LS400 door handles. I have a front-facing intake manifold because the plan was to always go turbo on this car. I think that's all I have for it. But as you can see, it has turds everywhere. The birds have been doing terrible things to my car, but it still looks good. Every time I come to my mom's house, I see the car here, and it looks good. It looks great, and that's why I'm so apprehensive of selling it. So with the little things I did to it, maybe I'm into the car, let's say $4 grand, which is plus or minus $3,500. This car, in the rough state that it is, it'll probably sell for like maybe $25. So to take a $1,000 loss on a car that I don't need to sell, it just doesn't make sense to me. Because in my mind, I could put $1,500 into it, be into the car like $5,000, and then sell it for like $5,000. At least I break even. But then again, all that work and stuff just to break even also wouldn't make sense. So basically, I don't know what to do. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. It's my only rear-wheel drive car. It doesn't require like a bunch of work. It's just maybe like a good like day or two of just finishing up the maintenance and tying up a little odds and ends. I should have a pretty decent running car again. Let's just go over it right now. All right. So the engine bay doesn't look any different from probably the last time you guys saw it, because this being the EGR here, so this pipe, you see how it's bent right there in the middle? I was trying to get this pipe to bolt in to the valve right here. See this nice block off from Arizona Performance, I believe. Pretty decent price, 40 bucks, and include everything you need. This was here, but I couldn't get it to align. So it was like this way, just like that, as you guys see. So I couldn't get these things to line up together, so I just kind of left. That's all that's been done on the car. Let me show you guys. So look how bad these these rotors are. I think you could probably feel the rust. Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I could feel the rust in there. It's terrible. Brakes still look good. Wheels still look good. They always needed to be, you know, worked on. Like I said, sorry, the birds have completely used this as a outhouse. But the car looks good. Let's take a picture from this angle. Let's see. It just looks good. Looks great. And that's why it's hard to sell. The car just looks good, guys. This is the back quarter panel right there. And that's most of it right there. That's all of the, well, there's also like a bigger dent right here. But besides that, this is pretty much it. So on the exterior of the car's pretty clean for what it is. It does have a little bit of rust right here though. You guys can see that? I was just having such a hard time focusing. A little bit of rust right here. Nothing crazy. But as you guys know, interior is a nightmare. Doesn't even look that bad, but let me, you know, boom, boom, boom. So the car needs a bunch of work. I'm gonna sit on it. I'm trying to fix it, do the little vacuum stuff I gotta do, and hopefully, just hopefully, you guys convince me not to sell it. So with that being said, sorry about that, guys. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell for your notifications, because we are releasing a new video every single day for the month of June. Take it easy, guys.